bit colder. The weather wasn't great so far, but it's been a really nice change. Yeah, the time was right to experience something else outside the lines after pretty much 20 years, and it's been a really nice change to bring the family down and settle into Melbourne.
How much of an experience has it been working under Clarko?
It's been short so far, but there's similarities there with Chris, obviously, as well, spending the last 7 years up there with Chris. Different in their own way, but the same in other aspects as well. It's been short, but really sweet and nice so far, and I'm sure once the season comes along, it might get a bit harder at times. That's what we're here for. Yeah.
What was the motivator for joining?
It was just time for change. Yeah, it wasn't anything in specific. There was probably multiple aspects to it. The main one was time for me personally in the coaching ranks. It was time to continue for myself to grow and learn something else. And as I said, when you've been at Brisbane for pretty much 20 years, a year down at the Bulldogs, then went straight back, that's all I knew. So to learn something else and see how other clubs run and different cultures and just a coach that has different ideas as well. There's just numerous aspects to it, and as I said, it's been a really nice change.
What was your perception of North when you took the job in terms of risk profile and that sort of thing? What is it now?
Well, clearly there's been a really high turnover the last couple of years. The one thing that was really nice is generally when you've been down the bottom of the ladder for quite a long time, you can be little bit stable off field, but the club as a whole off field is really stable, and there's really good people here, so there's something to really work from. With that, clearly we've got some more talent in the door, and I couldn't question the players' attitude so far through the pre-season. It's been second to none, and hopefully, I think there is a really strong belief and hope that we can start to push our way back up the ladder.
What is the main difference working with coming from a really established list to one that's up and coming?
Well, in saying that, 7 years ago it wasn't. Yeah, I've probably sat in this position before 7 years ago. Brisbane, I think, finished 17th and then 18th in Chris's second year. So might have probably helped me get a job down here too, been through it and seeing how it's done, and but also understand how quick things can change. Chris's third year at Brisbane, Brisbane finished second on the ladder. So not saying that's going to happen here, but there's definitely hope and belief, and that's definitely what we're striving for, if not quicker. So I think we all know the formula of what it takes to change. Patience, but be impatient at the same time. So hopefully, sooner rather than later, that push starts.
Obviously, don't know what the group was like 12 months ago, but have you noticed some of the fire that Jai's talking about?
I can only talk about the pre-season and really the last 3 months. And as I said, the attitude towards the work and putting the effort in and wanting to learn and get better, I haven't seen it done this well for quite a while. So the players are really keen to get better. Not knowing, really the last 12 months, 24 months, where it's been and what the attitude's been like. But as I said, you can't question it. So hopefully what you now want is that to translate onto field, and there is a strong belief that will.
Are you as taken with Colin McKercher as Jai seems to be? He can't get enough.
Well, I'm defenders coach, so probably a little bit biased as well. He's had a really strong pre-season. Some things he does and the way he moves and the way he's able to deliver the footy, there's probably a reason why you drafted a pick too. He moves well. Yeah.
Sounds like you're trying to pull him into your line instead of letting him.
He might already be there, but I'm sure he'll float between a few. He's one of those players, along with the Harry Shees that was mentioned before, and a couple of others that they might, they're quite flexible to play all over the field, and there might be times where that happens.
From a coaching point of view, what's sort of the benefit in putting a youngster like that at half-back? What sort of helps?
They try to say half-back's the easier position to play, and it's generally because the ball's in front of you all the time, so it's easy to cut angles and see where the play's moving. You can always stay in line with the ball. At half-forward, it gets kicked over your head a lot, so you're having to turn around and chase back, and you don't always get the benefit of the ball in hand. So generally, the theory is at half-back, you saw it with Nick Dacos, you saw it with Sheasel, and you might see it with Colby, we'll wait and see. That it's just sometimes when you go into AFL footy, it's an easier place to settle in.
With the backline and the departure of Mackay and briefly noticed with the ACL, are you concerned that it might be quite inexperienced and a little thin back there?
I would say North Melbourne Footy Club whole list is probably a little bit inexperienced and thin. We're really lucky that we've got Aidan Corr and Luke McDonald, so two of the more experienced players that, really strong leaders for the footy club, and able to direct these younger players. But in saying that, you've got Bailey Scott, who I think finished top 3 in the BNF last couple of years. Zach Fisher's come across from Carlton, who's played over 100 games. Darcy Tucker, who's played over 100 games, will float between there, wing, maybe a bit of forward. So in saying that, we've actually got quite a number of players that have played enough games of footy now. And you add that with a little bit of the enthusiasm of the younger guys, and it's generally a really nice mix. The job will be for us is to make sure the mids do the work upfield and doesn't come in too quick and we don't have to worry about it. So that's perfect. Well,
You've got
Toby Pink, Biggie Newen.
that have come in.
Yeah.
I mean, how are they progressing, and do you feel like they're going to be locking in their positions coming up?
I can't say locking in positions. I'm not here to pick the round 1 23. It might be 23 players this year. Everyone that I've seen, from Toby, from Biggie, Cal Dawson, those big guys have really trained well. And the great thing about this year, I think for most of the players, it's a fresh start for most of them. You talked about Clarko's first real uninterrupted pre-season. A lot of us are new, a lot of the assistant coaches are new. It's probably training's been a little bit different to maybe what it has in the last couple of years. So it's a fresh start for everyone to really put their hand up and show what they can do. And I think that's the attitude us as coaches have got to go in with too. So.
Touching on your time at Brizzy, is there, obviously there's no silver bullet to success, but is there a certain component of rebuilding a young list like you did in Brisbane that when you got here you say, right, this is one of the non-negotiable things that we have to get right?
I think culture plays a big part in it, really trying to set the culture early days. And something Brisbane did really well was they set the culture. They got really good young kids in with really good characters, and then they were able to keep them. I think you probably all remember before that there was the Go Home 5 and it was really unstable. Here right now it's a really stable club off field. Hopefully now on field, staff, coaches, high performance, we can stay around for a while. Bring the young kids in, and you sort of develop a culture by a place of belonging. People wanting to stay, players wanting to stay, and from that you get your talent and you build from there. And hopefully now, we'll start to reap that and see those changes, and as I said before, you hopefully start pushing back up the ladder.